Welcome everyone to another of our sessions today. Today we have with us Giacomo from TurboSuite, a new hospitality business intelligence that they are very focused on the revenue and how this area has been improved and how much technology is now investing in this area that before it was a more rudimentary technique, but slowly but surely is getting into a new paradigm, no? So let's go ahead about the agenda today. Let me go one second here. All right. So today we'll start obviously with the introductions, not just about myself, but as well as about our guest here today, Giacomo. We'll speak a bit about Hostify. Obviously, our guest today will speak more about the revenue and the tendency of these new techniques, a new technology that is investing in this area. Then finally, we'll speak really fast about their connection and how can we do it obviously better together. And we will end up with some Q&A for any client that might have more interest about Hostify or Hostify or TurboSuite. So I'm Joan. I've been working for Hostify for the last 2 years, as many of you know already. You see me in more webinars. I'm the head of sales and marketing for Hostify, among many other tasks that we do. And today we have with us with Giacomo. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yes, so hello everyone. My name is Giacomo. I'm a strategic partnership manager for TurboSuite. I've been in the company for about 9 months, a company which is growing quite fast, and then I'll be glad to show you a little bit what TurboSuite is about today.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Giacomo. So let's go ahead and start with today's webinar. As usual, a bit of information about Hostify, how far we've come and how rapidly we've grown in the last 3 years, even though we are one of the last PMSs coming into the market. We work already worldwide in more than 46 countries, where we have helped, and we always like to help our property managers to grow that bookings in more than 50 million so far, with over 30,000 listings, 34 listings spread around all the world, in all the continents actually in the world. So in Hostify, we have three main brands or main guides that we like to talk about it always, and how to summarize somehow what we are always work and what are the paths to help our property managers to get that support and to get that automations and everything that they need in order to for day-to-day operations. It gets much easier. So the first point, always we start with work smarter. That's why they always come to us with their problems, with their needs, since starting from the cleaning or the tasks all the way to the messaging, automations, payments, synchronization with the channels. So we are there for them to help them synchronize all that and centralize in one platform, so they save a lot of time and resources to work in much easier, smooth way. Then all of that, what it will bring is more free time for them, where they will be able to focus more in acquiring new properties and of course get more bookings. So the more time they have to invest in marketing, in strategies, or in softwares like Giacomo is presented today for our Turbo Suite, in order to make that growth happening, and they don't have to focus and spend that much time on operations or daily tasks that they are quite painful, isn't it? And then during this path that we have, we basically we're always there for them. And even though it's the last point that we mentioned, is one of our brand cores that we have, which is get premium support. We are always 24/7 for them. We do free onboarding for them. So we're always for all about the property managers, because we know they get always the first line of combat when they bring the clients, and they are the ones at the end cleaning the properties, handling the clients, the phone calls. So we are there for them at any time, always to give them some support. All right. So saying that, this is a bit of, let's say, the structure of Hostify. Obviously, we could go in more deeper, but at the end of the webinar, we'll present how to contact us in case that you would like to have a further demo in order to understand better how the software works. But just a bit of the insights. Obviously, we will start with the channel manager. We synchronize with the main platforms in the market, such as Airbnb, Booking, Expedia, Agora, TripAdvisor, VRBO, any of them. We synchronize calendars, content, rates, and then, of course, centralized conversations, unified inbox, which will bring us to the next point. So you will be able to contact your clients independently where the channel they are coming from. Even if they book directly with you, you will be able to contact them in many different ways. For actually, either from the platform that they book with the email, with a text message, or a WhatsApp integration that we provide as well. And then will bring us, as mentioned as well, not just nowadays the clients that are focused on the channels, but also as well to have their own booking engine or their direct website in order to get that direct bookings. And we provide different solutions. So we actually provide two of them at the moment, which is your own booking engine. As soon as you have the properties in the system, automatically you can generate a website builder, which it will create through our booking engine a website where the client will be able to book your properties, to send inquiries, and there is more coming on, which is a guest portal where they will be able to do upsellings, and of course they will have a guest portal where they will be able to check the reservations, guides, or anything like that, even the check-in form, in order to provide as well passports or any information that the property manager might require. And the second option that we provide is a WordPress plugin. So basically, you will be able to create your own website. We just provide you the plugin, and then you can code it and customize it the way that we like it. So we always give the options for the white label. And finally, and this is going to be one of the main key points during today's webinar, which is going to be the automations. And among the ones that we have already for inquiries, messaging, cleaning, tasks, payments, email grabber, or reviews, we're going to focus on the pricing rules, which we have two tools that it will help the combination between TurboSuite and Hostify, which is pricing rules that we can establish as well through the software. So we can do two rules, basically. One and most demanded, which is the last minute discount, in order to book that empty spaces that sometimes with low seasons or the last minute requirements that some clients might have to accommodate and get the availability or occupancy much more higher along with the revenue. And finally, between gaps as well. So sometimes you have nights for 1 night or 3 nights that you usually don't sell. You have a minimum length of stay bigger during the highest season. So the system automatically will detect these gaps, and then you can establish a different pricing rules in order to discount or to give a better rates for these gaps. And then finally, just about speaking about, we will speak about more later on about the better together, how to get the perfect solution between both softwares and how it's going to help you improving. So I'm going to handle now over to Giacomo, which will explain more about TurboSuite. So whenever you want.
Thank you very much, Joan. So, well, indeed, TurboSuite is, as we mentioned before, a hospitality business intelligence. It's something that goes beyond dynamic pricing. It's as a software as a service, which is custom built in order to increase profitability and occupancy at the same time through the use of new technologies, big data, and artificial intelligence. So TurboSuite was born basically out of need. The CEO of the company is himself a property manager, and he was looking for some features that he was missing in the software, which was on the market back then. These features are the possibility to access more market data, the possibility of focusing on profit rather than occupancy. We know that's always been a dilemma, occupancy, profitability. I have to fill apartments, but I have to lower the price, or vice versa. And then the possibility to establish different sales strategy per sales channel. So I'll show you, because TurboSuite is a solution, I'll show how this was solved. Talking about revenue management in general, revenue management is like a race. Okay, everybody is competing for bookings, tourist flight, holiday homes, hostels, hotels, etc. So for many years, when it comes to comparison, revenue management has been done by comparing a certain property with a competitive set of about 10 to 15 other properties usually with similar characteristics, usually in the same area. But this comes with the problem. This is a reactive way of approaching because the only data available were the data of the average of the competitive set. So you as a property would make your strategy depending on the rest of the competitive set. So if they increase the prices, you would have to do the same. If they lower the prices, you would have to do the same. So how did TurboSuite solve this problem? With big data. With big data, you can analyze an entire neighborhood, part of the city, or even the whole local market. We analyze 2 million data points per day. And with such amount of data, there comes a problem. Okay, instead of like a 10, 15 properties, you can have like a certain day 700 competitors or 650 the next day. So here comes a problem. Where do I position myself as opposed to the rest of the properties in the city? So that's when rentability comes into the game. And how did we manage to increase rentability? Well, through deep analysis of internal and external factors. Well, first of all, the bookings. Okay, you cannot make a strategy unless you know what you already have. What's your occupancy? What's your ADR? What's your revenue at a certain moment? When are your customers booking? When are they booking the highest ADR? When is the revenue higher? So you have to take all of that into consideration when it comes to price recommendations. And one thing that is unique of TurboSuite, we take into consideration internal factors. It's like, location, review scores. We take into consideration the amenities, whether an apartment has a desk, whether it has an elevator, whether there's 24-hour reception service, conversion rate, cancellation rates. We take into consideration up to 116 factors for price recommendations. And so that's the way it goes. Prices are made out of market data, like we said, 2 million data per day, internal factors, reservation and external factors such as events in the city, search on bookings, etc. So then we send prices, but one particular thing about TurboSuite is that we are able to have different prices for different customers. How can we do that? So we send up to 60 different prices to the different channels. Then these channels, through big data again, they can make a micro-segmentation. So usually segmentation was the way it was done before was based on social demographic elements such as age, such as location. But with big data, we can make a micro-segmentation based on the customer's behavior. Which page do they look for when they look for a flight? Which page are they visiting for hotels? How much are they spending for goods? So through this micro-segmentation, the different channels can hide or show different prices to the different customers. And since we send up to 60 different prices, they have a choice to show the right price to the right customer at the right time. The basic and purest definition of revenue management. So that's this is your solution with TurboSuite. So, first of all, the study of the local market, 116 internal and external factors, different strategies because we can make a micro-segmentation, analysis, booking analysis, and pick up. And then one thing about TurboSuite is that beside the tool, you will have a revenue manager, like a person who will help the property manager through the strategy, through the onboarding, with periodical meetings every week or every 2 weeks discussing the strategy, whether it's working, whether should make some adjustments. For example, we don't like to change the price every day. We like to change the price once, maximum twice per week, so that you will have the time to see if the strategy is working. And then we have like different proposals for each channel. We have a rate shopper of our own, which takes the information from Booking.com, Airbnb, and Expedia. You can get different scenarios. You can make different strategies. So like we said, 2 million data points per day instead of having to see a competitive set of 10, 15 properties. We analyze the whole city. So these are the benefits of working with TurboSuite. We manage different types of properties, holiday homes, apartments, hotels, and this is the general advantage of working with TurboSuite within the first year, up to 37, almost 38% profitability, up to 84 positions up in the ranking of Booking.com, which gives up very high visibility. And since most of the tasks are automated, you can have like a 15 hours efficiency. We're talking about weekly work every 10 apartments. So like we said, we have different success stories. This is, for example, a case of a holiday homes in Mallorca with 163% revenue increase. Apartments in Malaga with 243% revenue increase and 65% ADR since November 2020. And this is, for example, case of a hotel in Colombia with a 73% revenue increase and 38% ADR. So this is basically what TurboSuite is about. Obviously, if you need, we can always show you the tool from the inside. You can see the general situation. We have a booking analyzer, like we said, in order to check the reservations. You can sort them by checking date, reservation date, booking pace, etc. We also have a dynamic pricing calendar and a multi-price calendar where you can check all of your properties and make bulk changes. The price recommendations is like color-coded. It shows you whether you are on the sale level, below or above the market. And well, obviously, working with Hostify is beneficial for all the property managers because from one side we get the reservations from Hostify. We know exactly where your property at in a certain moment, and then we push back the prices to the channel manager. Joan, I don't know if you would like to add something to this.
No, you're completely right. So basically, the integration that we'll do, as Giacomo already mentioned, all the automations and everything that you will establish in your TurboSuite account, it will be pushed into Hostify, and then all these automations, along with any other settings that you have established as well in Hostify, will help you out to position yourself in the different channels. And get the best rate revenue that you might need in order to provide more bookings to your different properties that you have along your portfolio. Yeah, that sounds great. So we can pass to, unless you want to show like really quick your software, Giacomo, because we have a little bit of time.
Yeah,
otherwise
sure.
we can jump. All right. So
I can show you.
do you know how to share the screen?
Yeah, no problem. I'll show you here.
Perfect.
Let me just open here a couple of windows so that I can show you.
Yeah, and you have the bottom here that says share screen.
That's perfect.
In the meantime, if anyone starts having any questions, feel free to start writing in the chat, and we will more than happy to respond to any questions that you may have about TurboSuite, about Hostify. In any case, I'm already sharing all the details in order to get in touch with us, where to visit us, where to book a demo, either with us or with Giacomo. And you will have all these details. And as I mentioned before, we will send all these documents are in the video at the end of the webinar. So I think we have already first question for TurboSuite. For which channels do you work? Only Booking.com and Airbnb or more?
So the main channels where we get all the information on amenities are Booking.com, Airbnb, and Expedia. And then when we push prices, we push price to the channel manager and there from to all the channels.
Perfect. And another question for you: are you on Aramis like PriceLabs or Beyond, or what makes you different from them?
So like we said, like TurboSuite actually goes beyond pricing, beyond dynamic pricing. It's not just a revenue management system like a hospitality business intelligence. First of all, the source of data, and we can get the data for the whole city, and the fact that the 116 factors, internal, external factors that are taken into consideration when it comes to price recommendations. The possibility to send up to 60 different prices to the different channels, and a revenue manager, like a professional who helps the property manager through the strategy always in contact through phone, even WhatsApp, and then periodical meetings. So if you're up for it, I'll show you the tool a little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
So are you able to see it? I think so, right?
Let me see. Can you share it now?
Sure, let me show it again.
Are you giving service in Mexico City?
Yeah, as well.
For us, yes.
Yeah.
Both of us, it's worldwide.
In Mexico, exactly. So we are, at the moment, our work focus is Spain, Latin America, but we're also expanding to the United States as we open an office in San Francisco. And yes, to answer Susanna's question, we can work globally. Just through the scraping, we can get the information pretty quickly on any city, globally speaking. Exactly. And then, as you can see here, basically, you see here the 2 million data points that we take into consideration that we get. And then you see, for example, we have different dates for different apartments, and then we have a different number of competitors for each day. And then here, go here, and you see these are all the competitors at a certain moment in the local market we're taking into consideration, like 802 properties, and all of them are mentioned here, their price. So that's how we get so much data for each apartment. And what we got here is the main page. We got here the distribution of the property, the characteristics like the amenities, search result, visibility, bookings as they are shown, for example, on booking.com. And then we got the rate plan. Like we said, we send up to 60 different prices to the different channels, each different price with their cancellation policy, release dates, type of discounts, and we send all of them, whether it's a flexible 3 nights, 5 nights, early 5 nights, minimum stay 5 nights, minimum stay 4 nights, non-refundable, etc. Okay, and then we've got promotions. Obviously, when it comes to promotions and then different discounts which come from the rate plan, we put a markup so that the price won't be affected as much. Okay, and then we've got the different apartments and the results on scraping. And obviously, we got see the amenities that we get here from Booking.com, Airbnb, and Expedia. Then what else can you do with TurboSuite? We have got a general panel here where you can see the situation for 30 and 90 and 30 days, and you can see the different KPIs. And then on the other side, you can see the search result, visibility, reviews, web ranking, cancellation rate, conversion rate, ranking on Booking.com, and the position on Booking.com compared to the total of the city. And then, like we said, we have our reservations analyzer. I'll show you here one good example with a booking page, which comes at handy when it comes to strategy. You see here, you can see the ADR. I'll make it a little bit bigger so that you can see better on the screen. Called ADR, room nights, revenue, number of reservations, and then you can sort reservations, for example, by agency, or like we said, booking pace. So you know exactly when your customers are booking, when the ADR is higher, when the revenue is higher. You see here, for example, this is a case when the ADR is higher from 7 until 29 days before the arrival, but revenue is higher very last minute and more than 60 days before the arrival. So you can make your strategy. You can play with the cancellation policies when you know that valuable information. And we got also the pickup here, which is also very important when it comes to strategy. We can sort it by check-in date or creation date, and you can actually get a very different scenarios. I'll show you here, for example, comparing December versus November 2021. We can see the occupancy here, for example, that in December it's 90%, in November 99%, so it looks like a very good month. But you can also see here that even December has a lower occupancy, the revenue is higher, and you actually had less cost because you had 47 less cleaning to do. But on the other hand, if we sort it by creation date, the situation can change completely. We can see that December was still a good month because it got 83% of reservations for the future, while November wasn't so good. Got only 29% of reservations for the future, which would have become a problem eventually in the following month, January, February, because not many reservations were issued in November. Then, like I said, when you have so much data, you have to take into consideration the important thing is the amenities and the internal characteristics of the apartments. We got here, for example, you can see the 116 factors. We got review, we got home in, we got parking, we got airport transfer, elevator, television, kitchen, etc. And all of that are summed up and it gave this numerical coefficient. Just to give you an idea, let's say that in Seville, that's where we're based, all the apartments had a pool. So a pool would be a 0 because it wouldn't be a valid proposition. Then it would be a different coefficient if only 2 apartments had a pool, and it's a different coefficient if 10 apartments have a pool. Or like, for example, all the apartments have a pool, but only 1 apartment in Seville has a kitchen. So you see, that's a different situation, that's a different coefficient. And then thanks to the reservation that we can get from Hostify, we can analyze the ADR, revenue, room nights, booking, length of stay, search, rate, visibility, conversion, cancellation, reviews, ranking. We got another coefficient. And then the performance, depending on the booking pace, from last unit to earliest, like I said, 60 days before the arrival. And then we got all the coefficient here, and the algorithm calculates which position is your apartment as opposed to the rest of the apartments in the city. Okay, and then obviously we got here dynamic pricing calendar, and we got a multi-price here. It takes another way, and then see here, it takes a little way to charge. We got all the apartments. Obviously, we can then sort them by apartments, by property manager, etc. And we got here the dynamic pricing calendar, like we said, is color-coded when it's this type of green is when we are below market. When it's this type of green, like an apple-like green, is that we're on the same level as the market. And then when it's this darker green is then we are above market. So it's compared to our base price, the system checks the prices of the competitors and gives a recommended price. Then this calendar can be sent at any given time to the channel manager, or with the autopilot, it's sent once per week on a Monday for the next 30, 60, or 90 days. So as we have a dynamic pricing calendar, we also have a dynamic forecast. It's not necessary anymore with Turbosuite to make a forecast once or twice per week. We can actually, even including the cleaning rate, we can have a forecast which takes, again, from Hostify in this case, the historical data of the apartment. We got medium stay and short stay. Medium stay is more than 28 nights. We can have a separation. We can even calculate the demand elasticity so that we know exactly when we can change the price and when we cannot. We can make a comparison. Once we have the data on the books, we can make a comparison versus same date last year versus how the same month last year ended. And we can even insert the budget, and Turbosuite gives a forecast for the following month, given all the data that we've talked about. So basically, this is that's how Turbosuite work. What you can do with it, like we said, it's a lot of data, a lot to process, but you would always be accompanied by a professional revenue manager.
Amazing, Giacomo. Really, really good. Well explained. So, anyone has any more questions about it, any Turbosuite? In any case, again, as we mentioned, feel more than free to book a demo with him. For sure, there will be more data and more explanation that he can do about the software. Same from our side. So we'll give a couple more minutes in case that somebody will like to ask any other question. Otherwise, we will wrap it up. We will close the webinar, and then, as we mentioned, we'll share all this information with you as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And for
So
sure,
very,
Giacomo and Christine will be in touch with you.
absolutely. So if you don't have any more questions, obviously you can send us an email and even book a demo. We have special conditions for customers which come from a partner such as Hostify. So we'll be able to make you a personalized offer.
Amazing. All right. So since I can see nobody else is asking any questions, thank you very much today for being with us, Giacomo, to show us all that TurboSuite has to offer to the property managers.
Thank
So
you.
look forward to have more interactions. So thank